Hello, welcome everyone. Great to see you all this afternoon. Thank you for joining and making time for this. Today I'll present this workshop as if you are my students, and it'll be a glimpse of what I'm trying to do. And I will not follow an academic point of view. It'll be more like a personal touch, and I will share my own journey during the next 40 minutes or so. I hope you will not be bored, but after the presentation, I'm looking forward to your questions. So great to see you all. Thank you so much for making time for this. And this is my welcome cartoon for you. So we know that we need to change, but things are not changing as fast as possible. We are experiencing bureaucratic systems. Universities change slowly. Textbooks are getting obsolete very quickly because the world is changing very fast. We are still operating in an industrial paradigm, which includes conformity, mass production, one size fits all, memorizing exams, feeding large spoons of content, etc., spoon feeding. There's not much on offer for a curious entrepreneurial mind or someone who yearns for something different. And I think we need to reward people for their imagination and creativity, passions, and entrepreneurship, and assets and compounding, because that's what the future will be rewarding. We don't teach enough about money, financial literacy, investment, personal finance, blockchain, and compounding. We don't give individuals, our students, the tools that they need to survive and thrive in this changing world. For example, the gig economy is growing fast. It'll soon become the majority, and freelancers will be more than half very soon. We are going through an entrepreneurship revolution. Everybody can start their own company with zero capital, with just a laptop, cell phone, and internet. Yet, our students are scared. They don't know where to start. They need some courage and inspiration and encouragement to start these journeys. And we need to give them more space to do so. Software has eaten the world. Everybody is now in technology. Technology shapes every aspect of our lives now. And young people have a dozen careers now. They are employees, writers, podcasters, content creators, YouTubers, entrepreneurs, bloggers, etc. So we live in an era of accelerated tectonic change, but that means specialist perspectives are not adequate, and we need to act like Renaissance people. On another front, AI revolution is here. Our students will be soon working with machines, robots, and algorithms in their careers. Climate change is threatening everything as we know it, and business is the one area that can make a radical change. As machines are soon becoming employable, we need to prioritize skills that make us human, such as creativity, innovation, emotional intelligence, entrepreneurship, storytelling, asset creation. Yet in our curriculum, we don't have enough space for these. In our current system, students are not allowed to be wrong. They are afraid to try out new things and stand on their own feet. Yet we need to help them make a lot of experiments, failures, mistakes. And we are going through tectonic changes. Google says, if you get my courses, $49 a month, you don't need any college anymore. If you take my courses for 6 months, then this will be equivalent to an undergrad degree. So everything is shifting as we know it. We lived a decade of events in a year. Think of 2020, pandemics, wildfires, elections, stock market highs and lows, and depression, and historical technological breakthroughs all happening at the same time. So during this pandemic, I went through a midlife crisis. I became aware of my mortality. I'll be dead soon, I thought, and Am I living the best life that I can? Am I actualizing my potential? I realized I have years of bitterness, missed opportunities, and lack of joy, curiosity, adventure in my academic life. And I felt stuck in a rut. And I felt I'm repeating myself in my classes. I'm bored of my own voice. What if I had multiple lives that are more colorful, exciting, adventurous, creative, entrepreneurial? So during the pandemic, I reflect on this in this article. You can read more. But let me focus on the things that I can control. How can I do positive things in my life? So I don't want to fit in the academic box only. I don't want to be driven only by academic goals. I want to embarrass myself, fail a lot of times, stop taking myself too seriously. I want to be a good role model for my students as an artist, as an entrepreneur, not only as an academic. And I want to establish my asset creation games for the next 10 years. That's why since the pandemic, I transformed my classes, made them more engaging, started writing on Medium. As of today, I have written 430 articles. And I became a YouTuber, created more than 600 YouTube videos. Many of them are in Turkish, unfortunately. I also became a TikToker just to have a taste of this platform, created about 90 TikTok videos, and I started writing new books as well. So if I die soon, at least I will be more content with what I leave behind. So Richard Feynman says you are under no obligation to remain the same person you were a year ago, a month ago, or even a day ago. You are here to create yourself continuously. That's what I'm trying to do. I think that I need to complete at least 10,000 experiments to create my own renaissance in the next 10 years. So I'm in conversation with my future self who lives in 2032. I have to start now and start small. I have to be extremely curious, learn beyond disciplines. I want to astonish, scare myself every day, follow my curiosities and excitements, and act as a positive agent of positive change. So to be a Renaissance person, I think we need to conduct 10,000 experiments. These are related to our teaching. I do doodle experiments. I do YouTube, Medium, each Medium article, each YouTube video, everything that I create, each one is a new experiment. So I transform my lectures. I follow a truth or dare structure. In the truth part, instead of presenting knowledge, I turn knowledge into a series of puzzles. And I use about 25 puzzles in 2 hours. Each takes a minute or so. And a big dark chocolate is the gift for the student who guesses it first. So I stopped force feeding knowledge with large spoons. Instead, I try to keep the content fresh, exciting, surprising, try to make it appealing for the human brain. I want to make them more curious, basically. And in the dare part, I give them a lot of challenges, individual or team-based. These might be short exercises, doodling, drawing, sketching, role-playing, creativity, reflective writing, imagination experiments, etc. So let me go over these 4 hats. Here's the sample puzzle. Last year, there has been a revolution in digital art and amphithes, whose amphithe was sold for $69 million. You can speak up. This was Beeple's amphithe. It was writing history as we know it. But how did he do that? He promised himself that I will create digital art every day. And he did this for every day for more than 13 years. He created an image throughout 2007 until 2021. He never broke the chain. And that means he created 5,000 daily images over 5,000 days. And he then combined them into one file and called this every day, the first 5,000 days. And this is the digital collage that is sold for $69 million. So this is the artwork. As you can see, like each of them was created on another day, and there are 5,000 different artworks here. And this means like he took the long road, he ran a marathon to use his creativity. And he's, I think, a great metaphor for our new ages. I think we also need to go on our own creative adventures. So creativity is no longer a luxury, it's a critical survival skill that we need in order to adapt to rapid changes, solve complex problems, imagine new possibilities, and navigate uncharted waters ahead of us. So this is the doodle that I use introducing my module. And you, like, this is the philosophy of the module, basically. I want you to look and see if you are neglecting any of these in your own life. Choose maybe 3 of them, whichever you are neglecting. Wrap it up, please. So I give students creative challenges every week in order to help them develop these. I want you to choose one of these challenges. Which one would you do, let's say, this week? The first challenge, you will connect dots and write a story using these words: pepper, fashion, chaos, journey, lawyer, bird, disgust, and dancing. And then you will illustrate the story, doodle it, sketch it. The second challenge, imagine that you are given a secret gift the 8th day of the week. Let's call it a fun day, fun day. How would you make it unusual and remarkable? How would you design it? The third challenge, go to Norwich, walk around the city of Norwich and take photos of at least 12 different doors. These doors should be different styles, periods, colors, etc. This project is all about doors, so take their photos and tag them each, give them a creative title, create an Instagram gallery. And did you learn new things about doors? Think about doors all week, like approach doors from a multidisciplinary perspective. History of doors, what is the meaning of seeing doors in your dream? Philosophy and doors, religion and doors, you know, manufacturing and doors, whatever. Design and doors. So imagine one of these doors open to your childhood memory. Where were you? Just write down it as a story. The next challenge, imagine meeting yourself from a parallel universe. You come across yourself in a cafe in London, you are shocked. You decide that you have a cup of coffee together. Imagine the conversation you are having. So first, imagine the life of the other you, parallel life. Imagine your life there in the parallel universe, and then imagine your conversation and write down that conversation. The next one, time travel. Imagine that you are transported to 2030. How is the world around you in 2030? Your career, organizations, world, your life, how has everything changed? And imagine all the details and write them down. And the next one, you will write 2 letters to yourself. The first one, you imagine that you are 80 years old self to your current self. And the second, imagine that you are just 8 years old and you are writing to your current self. And the last one, you go on create 6 stories. These are fantasy adventures. I wrote an article about each. The first one will be set in virtual reality. It can be like a computer game. You might be immersed in the metaverse, let's say. The second one, you are in outer space. The third one, you are part of a fantasy universe, such as Harry Potter or Game of Thrones. You can invent a character for yourself. The fourth one, you go back to world history. The fifth one, you travel to the future. And the sixth one, you go on adventures in a different country. So these activities, storytelling is important and imagination is important. Look at the most valuable media franchises. Pokemon, $92 billion. Star Wars, 65 billion. Harry Potter, 30 billion. Marvel, 29 billion. So all these brands, they emerged from somebody's imagination. These are all imaginary. These are all about human creativity. So I strongly recommend my students to unleash their own creativity. And I think we should do the same, strive to do the same. So that's why I incorporate exercises like this, exercises in word building, storytelling. For example, let's say you will create a town, 10 main characters living in this town. Might be a fictional town. Draw a map of this town, give a bit of history background. Who are the famous faces, colorful characters? What are the power games here, conflicts? And what are some secrets, family secrets, past violence? Who wants revenge? Is there forbidden love, etc.? And what happens next when there are newcomers to town, etc.? So all these exercises. This one is another one for science fiction exercise. It is the year 2120. A starship is leaving the Earth. 12 crew members are on it. You just invent the story. Where are they going? Why are they leaving the Earth? What is their mission? So you invent the story, and I help them, craft their stories. We use Pixar's 22 rules of storytelling to keep things interesting. And I think these are universal rules as well. You need to invent some characters, setting, plot, conflict, and resolution as you go along. I also give them exercise like this one. Create your own Netflix show. Let's say, what would you like to create? If Netflix gave you a budget, would you create? I want you to think about this actually. Write your own notes in the next 20 seconds. What would you like to create? What type of a show? What would be the title? Who would be your target segment? Think about it. So these are just great fun exercises. The next one, I want you to imagine that your life story is being made a movie by Hollywood. What would be the title of this movie? Write it down. What would be your success story? Who would play you? 3 skills that you don't have yet, but your cinema self has them. What are they? And 3 places you go, but your cinema self hasn't gone yet. What are they? So maybe you can choose 1 or 2 of these and write a short answer to these. So I do this exercise and then students discuss this among themselves. But I think creativity is very important to distinguish yourself in the job market. So this marketing guy, Lucas, delivered donut CVs. Most resumes end up in trash. Mine will end up in your belly. And he landed on 10 interviews using this method. Or let's look at some CVs. This is a video CV.
In the city who's and I was hello. My name is Chen and I was born in France. In the city whose cathedrals copied my name. Also with a museum by Shigeru band. When I saw it, I thought, why don't I do the same? So I studied architecture, that's why I moved to Nancy. No, that's not a girl, that's the name of a city. I got my bachelor's degree, then I moved to Germany. In Leipzig, the New Berlin, where I mastered my physics. Master in the pocket, now I'm on the market. Rising like a rocket, let's go win some contest. I this competition living in the future. First prize, World Championship of Game for Architecture, Public Award, and a whole bunch of trophies that I cannot name. All this song would last a century. While learning to basics in various offices. I've explored several parallel careers, from making and mixing cheese in Switzerland to drawing for local TV in Belgium. Then I worked for Sana on the side of the Louvre, and now for 4 years I've been working in Luxembourg. But it's time to live, Denmark is on my list. I wanna work for big, I know I've got the skills. My English is great, mon français est formidable. Mein Deutsch ist super, mit uns kein Fachverdeling. I know AutoCAD, Rhinoceros, Grasshopper and V-Ray, Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign, and After Effects.
So it continues, but here's another example. He wanted to apply for an internship at GQ magazine. So he created a special issue of this magazine. He turned his CV into a 20-page magazine, and he landed the job immediately. So I give students advice, suggestions for carving out your own path adventure. Maybe like you can also think of at least one small action from this. Like, what can you do to bring more joy and creativity in your career? Do you have any ideas? Please write them down. Or you can choose from this list. Okay, and I believe that we need to have 4 types of hobbies. The first one is about curiosity learning. The second hobbies are about creativity, creating assets. The third one is fitness, healthy lifestyle. And the fourth one is making you money. And so if we continue, the next hat is entrepreneur. I won't be able to finish them all, by the way. You will just look at the tip of the iceberg. Who is the inventor of Spanx? This is the next puzzle. She used 5,000 of her savings to develop the idea. She became the youngest self-made female billionaire in the US when she was 41. Who is she? Sarah Blakely, of course, and she has her own masterclass, and here's it.
I'm gonna tell you something. Every person in their life has had $1 million idea. No doubt. No doubt. It's just, you're gonna take action. You definitely do not need to go to business school to become an entrepreneur. I started Spanx as a frustrated consumer. I had $5,000 set aside in savings. I simply wanted to be able to wear white pants to a party and have nothing show underneath it. The entire time, everyone told me no and said, this is not a great idea. But let me tell you one thing. That means you've come up with something brand new. Take it as a compliment. This masterclass is for anyone out there who's in search of an idea, has an idea and doesn't know what to do next, is wanting to start a business, or has already started a business. I guess in some way I'm saying, I think this class is for everybody. Before I started Spanx, I actually was selling fax machines door to door. I got kicked out of building after building, and one day I thought, I'm in the wrong movie. I call the producer, call the director. This is not my life. What happened? I can tell you the things that I focused on very early on. 3 things: make it, sell it, build awareness. People are looking for that. I want to be a $100 million company in the first year, and I'm going to raise as much money as I possibly can. And just check in with yourself on that and be willing to start small. Why are you doing this? What's the why? And who are you in the world? Share that part of the story. I mean, the more vulnerable you're willing to be, the deeper the connection will be with your consumers. I hope that you're tuning in and you're seeing me, and I become the example that you needed to say, check, yes, you can. I'm Sarah.
40% of the global workforce is ready to quit. Why? I suspect many of them are establishing their own companies or entrepreneurial ventures. So entrepreneurial spirit is very much alive and kicking in the pandemic. Generations that are hustling for their post-COVID futures. We are living in YOLO economy. This was on New York Times. You live only once, so you need to do whatever is risky but adventurous, but something that you enjoy. So jump off the cliff and build a plane on your way down, but it's all about implementation. You need to act in like 5 seconds, but also implement it, learn from these iterations. So if you don't implement your ideas, even if they are the best ideas, they are worth $20. But if you implement them, then that's how you create value. So I started watching and showing this, using this program in my classes as well, Undercover Billionaire. I'll just show you a very short clip on that.
Scale the company up incredibly fast. After you, I'm worth a load of money. No, and an old pickup truck.
Glenn is betting $1 million of his own money that he can take $100 and grow it into $1 million business in just 90 days.
For the first time in decades, the next generation of Americans may be poorer than their parents.
Seems like you work harder to make less money.
Glenn is betting
For the first time in decades,
with nothing and built a $1 billion lending company, one of the largest in the country. But
for the first time in decades, the next generation of Americans may be poorer than their parents.
Seems like you work.
Them in my classes, but this entrepreneurial wave is everywhere. I think Islo on Twitter says, I'm 19, I made over $5,000 this month selling digital products. This 12-year-old sold NFTs and made over $5 million in 3 weeks. And these 2 Irish brothers, they started Stripe. Stripe is one of the most valuable companies in Silicon Valley. And we cannot find these strategies, entrepreneurial strategies, in our textbooks. Like, our textbooks won't give you the answer. Books like these are much more insightful and useful because they are about real life stories of people who did it and how they did it. I think so. And I believe we need to act as a role model. I just started this book, started selling it Gumroad just last week or something. So I created an ebook. By the way, you can also buy this for 99p for a limited time if you are interested. But I think it is also a case of asset creation. Like, have a look, give us some support our entrepreneurial journey, but also like it's not too difficult to create digital products. The reason that I created this product was like, I want to act as a role model and show my students that you can also do it very easily. Like, I want to open up new horizons, new possibilities for them and make them excited and give them possibilities and really inspire them. So the rest of the presentation, the third one, I'll just briefly go over these content creator hat. These are all rigorous content creators who made billions, millions out of content. Joe Rogan made a $100 million deal with Spotify because he created 4,000 episodes. So rigorously creating on content is important. Ronaldo makes more from his Instagram than soccer. So I became active on TikTok because of these, but all professions are changing by TikTok. This is an ice cream vendor in Turkey, 20 million subscribers on Turkey, around the world, and they are dancing all the day. So it's all about capturing attention, inspiring fun. Charlie D'Amelio, she makes $50,000 from a 50-second TikTok video. And all these new millionaires, they are all rich because of social media. These are content houses. These are very popular all around the world. There are many in Turkey, around the world, even in the UK. So you need to create your own assets he was a lawyer. He stayed up late between 10 and 2 every night, finished writing mystery novels using this method. Who is he? Baldacci. I use him in my classes. So I recommend students to use this year as their asset creation year. They can create their YouTube channel. They can write their own book, start writing it. They can establish their own business, whatever they want to do. Think about your assets for the future. Don't think like a student, do this for yourself and do something exciting. And my promise to them, I will also create alongside you. I will kickstart my second book, maybe third book. I'll write on Medium every 2-3 days, and I'll be accountable to you. You can also ask me, what did you do for your book, Fari? Did you put it out? Keep me accountable. So I tell them, and my message to you as well, draw the art you want to see, start the business you want to buy from, play the music you want to hear, write the books you want to read, build the products you want to use. And this is your hero's journey. Do something non-traditional, do something exciting. And you can publish your content everywhere nowadays. And all these new platforms, you can make millions on these new platforms. You just need to choose your platform, start now, improve yourself, innovate, and then monetize it for the long term. So sometimes we don't feel like it. How to be absolutely unstoppable when you don't feel like lifting your finger. How do you do that? Students ask me on that. So I wrote an article about this. And this article, I wrote it just a few weeks ago. And in just 1 month, as you see, it's an asset now. It has made almost $56 in just 1 month. The last hat, futurist hat, everything is changing very fast. Artificial intelligence is here. Technology companies are dominating. Zoom is more valuable than top airlines. Airbnb is more valuable than hotel chains. And these are like totally based on innovation. All these new exciting companies, they didn't exist in 2007. They are all new. So we can expect in the next 10 years, there will be a lot of tectonic changes as well. Tesla surpassed 1 trillion. Is much more than all automotive companies. So the time to reach 1 trillion market cap is getting lower and lower. Everything is becoming accelerated. These technologies are transforming our lives. And this ninja guy, he was on the Time magazine cover. He makes more than $1 million, actually, $1 million right now, just playing computer games and broadcasting them. Even rice farmers in Philippines, they make $2,000 playing computer games. So this is a new world. Careers are changing very fast. Technology is transforming everything as we know it. And we are not preparing our students for this new brave world. So I think we need to act as role models and do something untraditional ourselves and visualize where we will be in 10 years. This is the last exercise that I want you to do today. So where do you want to be? What do you wish to create? For example, I want to create 2,000 YouTube videos, 2,000 Medium articles in 10 years. I want to write at least 5-6 books, maybe. I want to create an asset creation summer school hackathon, and I want to make at least $1 million. And I'm writing myself a check to this amount. So things like these kind of powerful visualization exercises are, I think, very important. So I'll stop here. There are many more exercises or insights there, but I'm ready for questions now. Thank you so much for following this up. I just wanted to give you a bit of flavor of what I'm doing. So I hope you're not bored. I'm open to your questions now. Thank you.